The number one topic in the world is the inauguration of Donald Trump. Discuss all that said. The new US president said that he had signed, and even some of this time he had the handle color. In the top of the news and the first dance, and the outfits the first lady and, of course, the protests, which though not affected, but brought much trouble to the police. Broken glass windows, limo on fire, in a trash can burns a red baseball cap with the motto Trump Let's Make America Great Again. Riots broke out just blocks from the Capitol, where he assumed the position of head of state, the president-elect. The police used non-lethal weapons. More than 200 people were arrested, 6 police officers were injured. But at the inauguration of PE is not affected. Moreover, the President Trump, returning to the White House several times, coming out of an armored car, and together with his wife Melanie and 10-year-old son Barron, walked, greeting his supporters. To them, ordinary Americans, turned billionaire Trump, and in his inaugural speech, in the spirit of all power to the people. You will never be ignored, he said. Trump has formulated its main principle, America and its interests first and foremost. He promises on a post of the head of state to be guided by it. The president has made it clear that so-called export of democracy now is neither the purpose nor the means of the White House. We will try to establish friendly and cordial relations with all countries in the world, but we understand that every nation has the right to first defend their interests. We will not impose our style of life, but do it in such a brilliant example that everyone will want him to follow, said Donald Trump. In a similar vein formulates its approach to international politics and the Russian leadership, which gives hope for restoration of constructive Russian-American relations, damaged the previous administration in Washington. The fact that Trump is ready to move forward in spite of the burden of the past, he showed at the reception in Congress. The hall was attended by Hillary Clinton, recently, an implacable opponent of Trump's for almost the dirtiest election campaign in U.S. history. The president thanked her, said she really respects and it was an honor to know the family of Clinton. Hall behind the Trump applauded Hillary standing. Presidential elections split the country. Trump calls now to leave disagreements behind and start working. It was very unifying. I believe that he is well able to bring people together, saying things that were expected of him. Not only his supporters, and all, said member of Bikers for Trump, Steve Carney. Immediately after the inaugural speech directly to Congress, Trump, as promised, signed the first decrees. He was obviously in a good mood, smiling, joking. Every signature he placed in a separate pen, which were immediately given to others. The first souvenir, a Republican, Trump gave the Democrat, Nancy Pelosi, head of the Democratic minority in the House of Representatives. Then there was a break in the ceremony. The head of state attended the parade at the White House. During this time in the Oval Office was the first change. The crimson curtains were replaced by gold and returned the bust of Theodore Roosevelt, removed the previous president. In this new setting, Trump signed his most anticipated decree on health insurance, Obamacare. The system is not abolished completely, but the first step in this direction has been made. And more about addressing the legacy of Obama, from the White House after the inauguration of the Trump gone, the sections on protection of the environment and the rights of people with non-traditional sexual orientation. What his legacy, a little that remains, Obama realized during inaugurating speech of the new president. The whole ceremony he sat with a straight face. It is casual and very comical, said the broadcasting company of ByBySI. Due to a technical failure on the broadcast appeared the titles of the series for teenagers. Out, of all the gin joints. The inauguration of the event is not only political, but also secular. Special attention to the First Lady Melania Trump. All said an elegant blue dress that she was afternoon, and immediately began to wonder what outfit she'll come out to the inaugural ball. For evening she chose a long, flowing cream-colored dress with bare shoulders. First dance, for the first family. Under favorite song of Trump with the symbolic name My Way by Frank Sinatra. Tonight Trump with his wife visited the 3-ball, the last for the American military. By teleconference organized communication with the military, stationed in Afghanistan. Experts immediately noted that it was intended to emphasize that the fight against terrorism is the main foreign policy priority of the new president. And this is where the word took until then to remain silent at all events. Melania Trump. Thank you for your service. It is an honor for me to be First Lady. We are going to fight. We will win. And we will make America great again, said Melania Trump. The inauguration is over, but special security measures in Washington left. Today held a massive protest action, the so-called March of Women. The declared 200,000 participants. The new administration require, among other things, to ensure the equality of the sexes and races, to support women's rights, including the right to abortion, to fight violence by police officers. All requirements of the organizers combined into a single document. I've got 4 pages.
About it, an interview of BySI has declared a press secretary of Russian leader Dmitry Peskov. The correspondent said, the issue is weeks or still months. Peskov said that in the coming weeks consultations are not scheduled, the meeting will be held in the coming months. He stressed, Vladimir Putin to this meeting ready. 2 men and 2 women were in the group that during the avalanche took refuge in the basement and was able to get in touch with emergency services. Another man now trying to raise up. It is reported that he was seriously wounded. In addition, according to Italian publication, during the search operations were able to hear the voices of at least 5 survivors. Now experts are trying to determine their exact location. At the moment, rescued 10 people, 4 were killed and about 20 remain missing. The agency France Presse reports at least 16 dead. Just in the bus presumably there were about 40 people. That Hungarian students who were traveling from France through Italy. It happened at night, near Verona. According to rescuers, the bus crashed into a pole, then caught fire. Many of those who were inside were trapped in the burning cabin. The transition to a presidential form of government may entail a complete change of power in the country. So as Prime Minister, according to the bill, is abolished, and the President becomes the Commander-in-Chief, gets the right to form a government and to dissolve Parliament at any time. The document still must be approved by Recep Erdogan. When this happens, the bill will submit for a referendum, which is scheduled for April. Turkey has long been the parliamentary presidential republic. The head of state was elected by parliament, while all executive power was in the hands of the Prime Minister. However, in recent years, the country moved towards the presidential form of government. In 2014 were the first since 1923 the nationwide presidential election, which was won by Erdogan.
In Dagestan during the counter-terrorist operation killed 2 militants. This news agencies reported, citing law enforcement sources. Eliminated the bandits, most likely, was part of the so-called Ksavyurt subversive group. It is known that extremists have found in one of the villages under the Kizlyar and blocked in the house. Now the operation continues. As reported by RIA Novosti, the assault began.
Killed at least 16 and wounded dozens. Just inside, there were more than 50 passengers. They all returned after a trip from France to Hungary. For unclear reasons, the bus flew into a concrete pole after it caught fire. Many of those who were inside were trapped in the burning cabin.